Hi guys, welcome to Crypto B101, the home of value and good information when it comes to cryptocurrency trading and investment. But before I go further, I need to apologize for what happened yesterday. The live show yesterday, I didn't even know it wasn't really going according to, I thought you guys were seeing it, but that is done. We have another packed episode this morning, and thanks for joining. Before we start the show, I would first of all like to share the links like we normally do so people can join us and be part of this great stuff. And for those of you guys that are always joining, please, anytime you join and you see that the show is not really going according, you can just comment in the comment section. I am going to see it here on the live chat, and that will make me realize that okay, this and this is not really going proper. But it is what it is. It's another day. It's 7th of October 2025, and we can see crypto is been pumping seriously. Crypto is been pumping seriously, and I know a lot of you will be FOMO in now. Now it's, I think, like this is now where a lot of people want to jump on the train, and this is not the best time. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we're gonna discuss all of that right now this morning. Just let me share this links to the group. And speaking of the group, if you're not in the group here, I guess you're missing out because there's live signal, there's educational content, and also there are a lot of people you could interact with and get to know each other more regarding trading and all of that. So if you're interested in joining the group, you might want to check that out. The links are down in the description. We have a Discord channel and we have the Telegram channel where we have great members that have been doing well in the community. So you might want to check that. And also, if you're just watching for the first time or you're just coming across the channel, Crypto Bin 101, the home of value and good information when it comes to cryptocurrency trading and investment, please subscribe, like, and share right now. It costs no money. It's free of charge. Especially, you need to always like the show if you like what we're doing, so we can do what we can reach larger audience on the platform due to the algorithm. All right, I haven't shared the link and telling people to join us live now. Let's now dive into the business of the day. And you know what we do on the show? We take a look at the chart analysis, we take a look at the news, and also join the live now. Also, we look at what the cryptocurrency market cap looks like. Not only cryptocurrency market cap, also we take a look at what the event of the day is going to look like, so we can prepare ourselves for whatever event that is coming, so we do not get caught off guard when anything happens from the market. All right, I'm Ahmed Olad Magic Kazim, aka KC the Great, and thanks for joining me once again this morning. Without wasting our time, let's dive right into the chart first of all and see what is going on, because we can see we've seen how many days of green candles. If you count, you see we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 2 weeks of the market pumping. And you've been following my show. I told you we might move back to the all-time. I even break it a little bit, getting to 130 thereabout, even though we're now on 130 now. But I said it does not mean we are going to have a new rally to the 180, 200 that is now coming up, because there's going to be a lot of FOMO. There's going to be a lot of what will I call it, hype, to want people to jump on the bandwagon that they were going to dump on you. And like I said, I've always been saying this on this show, that this bull run is totally different from all the bull run we've seen since the beginning of cryptocurrency. Since a decade and a half now, we have bull run. I'm talking about proper bull run 217, 221, and this 225. This 225 is totally different to the last two we've experienced. And that, I'm not saying we've only had two, we've had like 3 or 4, but I'm talking about when a lot of people start recognizing cryptocurrency and we start seeing market moving to a greater number. You understand? And why is this one different? It's different because we have ETF inflows, and you cannot argue that with me that is not ETF that is pulling this market we're seeing, because you can check on the news. Biggest Bitcoin ETF record nearly 1 billion worth of inflow in just one day. So if you see this rally going crazy, you do not need to like, how am I going to call it? You do not need to like guess where is this money coming from. We do not have big news from this. The government is shut down in the United States, this and that. No. Just take a look at the ETF inflow. You can see that the inflow is massive, because in a day we have 1 billion US dollar. That is massive. We've not had something like that before. That is happening for the first time. And I told you that is what will be dictating how we see this market going forward. ETF is what we're going to. So even we're going to have all these altcoin season, I feel like it has to do with when we have the government shutdown stop and they approve all those ETF applications in front of SEC. Until we have that, maybe that's when we're going to have altcoins, because it's showing now that it's now an ETF market. And until we accept that, that's when we will really understand what is going on. So biggest Bitcoin ETF records nearly 1 billion worth of inflow in just one day. And it was a big day for BlackRock, with IBIT, that is the ticker, logging nearly 1 billion worth of inflow. That is massive, guys. Don't let us deceive ourselves. That is massive. But you know one thing with all these investment companies, as we have the inflow, we're going to see the outflow, because it's business. They want to make profit. We're going to see it going up and down. And I'm not saying we are not going to hit the 130K, the 180K, the 200K. I am not saying we're not going to get there. But what I'm saying is, it's not just going to be a long line going up like that. It's going to be a wave up and down. And we might even still dump from wherever we are now if the government should come back on and the rate is not cut. So we need to be careful, and we can see the trade is breaking out now, and our stop loss now will be, if the market should break 123,500, I might just get out of the market for now, because the gain from 110 to around 123,000, that's about $13,000 points that we've seen in BTC in just like 2 weeks. That is massive. That is massive, guys. Another news on the radar is that the Bitcoin hit record high on perfect storm of demand and scarcity, and this might give us a lot of hope that the market is still going to move a little bit higher. And I'm not going to deny that, because you can see Bitcoin shattered its previous all-time high on Sunday, climbing to 125,689 as a severe exchange supply shortage collided with the second largest weekly ETF inflow since spot product launch in January 2024. This rally matters because it's driven by what? By structural forces, not speculation. Institutional money is flooding in while available Bitcoin vanishes from exchanges at alarming rate, creating supply-demand conditions that could push price towards 135,000 US dollar in coming week. And what did I tell you? I said we might break 125 and see 130, 135. That's what I'm looking at, because we're getting close to the end of bull run. Remember, we'll have October, November, and probably around December, the market will start getting the consolidation and prepare for bear market. We only have bear market for 1 year, then 3 years for bull run. That's the 4-year cycle Bitcoin has been doing. So we need to always keep a look on that. And another news that is really pushing BTC, and we're seeing this massive rally, is this news again, and it says US could fund strategic Bitcoin reserve. We all know they had summit earlier in, I think, around January or February, when Trump first came into the office, and the summit was nothing to write home about, because they only just said they were going to hold on to the seized Bitcoin they have. They're not going to invest more. But now the story is changing, especially with the Trump family getting deep into cryptocurrency. You can now see US could fund strategic Bitcoin reserve. Lumi says, and we all know Lumi has always been great and always been doing good thing when it comes to cryptocurrency. So it says that with the seized holdings and possible government Bitcoin purchase, that is going to moon Bitcoin. I told you guys that even though we're going to have this market going to 200K, 300K, we need some massive fundamental to come out, like an event or big news, to push the market to that price. And you can see this is going to be big if it eventually happens, but I think this would have to pass through Congress and all of that, because it's going to have to do with taxpayer money in the United States of America. And if you see that the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve is a proposed federal program to hold and manage seized and budgeted neutral Bitcoin for national fiscal strategy. Senator Cynthia Lummis says funding can begin immediately pending legislation or signaling a move to integrate Bitcoin into U.S. financial planning and reserve policy. I told you, I think it has to go through Congress and all of that, and we're going to see what that will come about. If we have real money being allocated to acquire more BTC for United States, I'm telling you, that is the end. We're going to see massive thing happening. But until then, fingers crossed, we can't really just jump into conclusion until that happens. And you can see immediate funding possible and initial funding likely from Bitcoin seized through legal process and managed by U.S. Department of Treasury. So those are some news that have been pushing BTC to where we are seeing it right now, and it's crazy. It's crazy, guys. And I'm not going to lie to you, we might see the market push back, because you can see this rally now. If we use our Fibonacci, let's take a look at our Fibonacci real quick and see from here to this point. So we might see the market pulling back to this part, maybe around 50%, and it matches with the top here to form support. So the market might pull back to around 1,117 thereabouts before it will now start pulling up back, because you can see we're having a dump this morning and you can see the red, but today it's not over. It can push back up. But is Bitcoin still a buy? Yes, Bitcoin is still a buy, but we need to adjust our stop out now to 123,000. The moment we break down 123,000, our advice, we get out of the market. All right, that is that about BTC. Let's now check what some altcoins are doing on the radar. Now we're going to start with ETH, and if we look at ETH moved past $4,600 as bull eyes 5,000 as next target for Ethereum. And Ethereum has regained strength over the past week, rebounding and reclaiming the 4,005 zone. Momentum remains constructive, but signs of short-term exhaustion are emerging as the market approaches key resistance. And if you look at the chart right here, let's check Ethereum. let's check ETH out quickly. And if you look at ETH right now, you'll find out that ETH is moving nicely, and the stop loss is still a little bit far compared to BTC, where I would say we should get out. Now, if you take a look at this now, you see that if this market should come down and break here for me a kicker at 4,480 thereabout, we might want to leave the market. But if we don't have a kicker at the end of today, and this is not even a kicker because this candle is not independent, so definitely our stop loss is here. Our stop loss is right here. Our stop loss, okay, no, it's a kicker, it's not independent because you can see this breakout. So our stop loss still remain at 4,485 thereabout. So if Ethereum could come down and break that, probably we might want to leave the market, because that shows we're going to see a pullback, and that pullback might invalidate this structure, and then we're going to have to look for a new entry. But until that happens, Ethereum is still a buy, but I can see most of all these tokens are now near where we need to take profit. Remember, this is not financial advice, it's just for educational purpose and entertainment. Make sure you do your own research. All right, without wasting time, let's check what is going on with another news on the radar. And you can see, and this one says Ethereum may target 7,009 as Solana momentum support altcoin upswing. Ethereum and Solana price target institutional flows, stablecoin issuers, and rising social sentiment have pushed ETH towards a 7,900 target and sold towards $400, both depending on a continued on-chain momentum, DEX volume, and breaking key resistance level within weeks. And let's take a look at the chart if that will be the truth, because we need to know if we have a breakout truly above this 5,000 that we had. Before we dip down a little bit, we might see the rally move towards a good place. But now, this is what we need to do. If you see that we break here, we didn't test it, we break here, we tested it. So if this market will move ahead from here to this point, let's bring it up there and see where it stopped. You see, it's stopping around 6,004, but now if this is 7,900, let's see 7,900 and put it right here. So it might be the whole movement from here, you see, then to there is what they're talking about. But when you look at the chart with ETH, ETH is still a buy until it breaks down 4,485. But let's take a look at Solana real quick. Let's take a look at Solana. We all know Solana is still a buy as of yesterday, even though the live was, having some technical issue. But we can see that the buy, what will I call it? The structure is forming. And where do we need to put our stop loss? I think we have a breakout. So now we can put our stop loss right here for Solana at 223. So if we break 223 for Solana, we might want to get out of the market. But if we don't, maybe the market is still going to push back. But I just feel like we're going to see some pushback from altcoins, because it's only Bitcoin that has tested the all-time high and is starting to drop. And if that is happening with Bitcoin, you can see we're testing the all-time high here and it's starting to drop, because we could see this red candle breaking this one for me, a kicker. And now if altcoins didn't make it to all-time high yet and they start to drop again, it will now give us a perfect what will I call it, a perfect structure of, you see, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Then we could see the market drop like that if Bitcoin starts to fall from the way things are looking this morning. But remember, this is not financial advice, it's just for educational purpose and entertainment. make sure you do your own research. But now if you look at Ethereum is still looking good until it breaks 4,484. That is when we can get out of the market. All right, let's take a look at some of another altcoins that are making waves on the news, and this one is XRP. We can see that XRP now builds strength above $3 as analysts track final test before $5. And you can see the Fibonacci level near $3 act as a launch pad for target at $4.5 and $5.7 this month. But let's take a look at what the chart is telling us, because on this show we don't just check the news alone. We have to take a look at the chart and make sure the chart is in line with what the news is talking about. So let's take a look at the chart analysis. If you look at XRP gave us an entry right there, and our stop loss for XRP, it's still we have structure there, push back, form and breakout. So XRP is still looking good. I'm not going to lie to you, because XRP stop loss is still at 2.7. It's still at 2.7, because if you look at this is the structure, this is the pullback, this is the entry point, and now we have this substructure that now break above, and we don't have any independent candle above the structure yet. And when you do not have any independent candle above the structure yet, you cannot use that as a stop loss. So XRP is still looking good. Yes, we might see pullback down to around this zone using Fibonacci, but if you are still in the market, XRP, to get out of the market as an investor or a spot trader, you need to let it break 2.68 or 2.7. But if you're a day trader or you're into derivatives that want to be getting signal, you might want to check my Telegram channel out. But if you're a spot trader and you're an investor, you could still stay in the game, because it might just pull back a little bit then to continue moving. So XRP is still a buy. Yes, XRP is still a buy. Now let's take a look at another token, and this one is Chainlink. Chainlink may face further losses after Wave sells 15.5 million as on-chain activity decline. And we all know Chainlink push higher when we had the Jackson Hole and all the interest and all of that, but for some reason now it's been dropping, and you can see over 700 link will sell worth 15.52 million, signal bearish intent. And I think even though you take a look at the chart regarding Chainlink, I told you to leave Chainlink. If you've been following my channel, you'll see I told you can see my line is red on Chainlink. You can see I told you need to leave Chainlink. And why did I tell you to leave Chainlink? Was because we had a kicker. This was a kicker, and that kicker made me see that we need to leave Chainlink for now. Because if you look at it, you're going to see that we have a breakout. After we have a breakout, we now have independent candle on a daily, and we have a kicker that, break it down. So when do we need to get back into Chainlink? We need to get back above $23. That's what I said yesterday, and I think we have not broken above it. So what we just need to wait for today is to see if this daily candle will push back above 23,000, then we can get back into Chainlink. But if that should not happen, I think we might see Chainlink dropping down, probably to test the low again to form a double bottom before the market will shoot up or the market will start falling down. So as for Chainlink, just to stay away from it. And if you look at Chainlink as well, it's forming the same thing with Ethereum. You can see lower low, lower high, lower low. This might just want to form a lower high, and we're going to see a lower low down there. But we need to play according to what the chart is telling us. All right, guys, if you're still watching the show, thanks for joining me on this beautiful show, the Bitcoin and Breakfast Show, where we trade it and we do not gamble it. Remember, whatever I will say on this show, it's no financial advice. It's just for educational purpose and entertainment. Make sure you do your own research. And also, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like, and share. And do not forget to turn on your notification bell so you'll always be part of the first people to get the information. Also, you can follow me on X, you can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on TikTok and on Instagram to get all these biggest juices regarding cryptocurrency I have for you. All right, that's that on altcoin. Let's now jump into some meme coins news, and this is Dogecoin. Dogecoin highs $1 after breakout, while Megacoin Finance forecast 100x return on investment by next year. And you can see Dogecoin is flashing bullish signals, drawing attention as whales accumulate of coins and traders eye a potential run towards $1. Simultaneously, Megacoin Finance, a fast-growing pre-sale project, is drawing interest of investors with projection of 100x return by 2026. 2026, we might be in bear market, guys, so you need to be careful. But let's take a look at Dogecoin on the chart. And if you look at Dogecoin, I told you Dogecoin has been acting very strong. I'm not going to lie to you. Even when we saw the market dumping last week or last 2 weeks, Dogecoin was dropping, but not really dumping like that. And that makes it really, really great. And if you look at Dogecoin, you see that we have the market pulled down to 0.2, didn't touch our 0.185 that I gave, and now it started moving back. So now where do we put our stop loss on Dogecoin now? We need to set our stop loss at 0.24. The moment Dogecoin is breaking below 0.24, I think we need to leave the market, because that means we're having the structure being invalidated. And if you look at this, you can see lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We could see a lower low as well. So what I'm trying to get from all the things I'm seeing is the ETF we saw coming into BTC was what propelled all this market to move up. And now, I think we had the SEC not being on holiday, they would have approved some ETF in front of them, with the likes of Solana, XRP, even Dogecoin, ADA, and some of such tokens would have been approved, and maybe that would have hold the market a little bit to push it a little bit higher for the meme coin. But right now, we just need to keep an eye on what is going on. So Dogecoin is still a buy, but make sure you set your stop loss to 0.25. Remember, this is not financial advice. It's just for educational purpose and entertainment. Make sure you do your own research before you put your money on any token and trade with the money you can afford to lose. So that's that regarding Dogecoin. Dogecoin is still a buy, but I think all the analysis we're seeing today, they are close to being invalidated. But at least if you take a look at the gains, most of them has given us nothing less than 7% for like the last 10 days, which is good. You can see we've been printing money, we've been making so much prediction, and we've been at least correct and been doing well on this program. So you don't want to miss the show. Sorry, I was starting there, but you guys get what I was trying to say. You don't want to miss the show. Please subscribe, like, and share so you always get all this juicy content everywhere. All right, let's now take a look at some or other news before we come back to the chart fully. And we're going to see this is a big news. We all know MetaMask. MetaMask is a DeFi wallet where you can create your wallet with them and trade and keep your token or whatever you're doing, and you can use them to connect to any DEX to trade and all of that. And now you can see MetaMask confirms 30 million reward program and links to future token. And you can see This is the token. MetaMask reward initiative aims to boost activity on consensus linear network and integrate its MUSD stablecoin, that is MetaMask USD. So if you're using MetaMask, you might want to take a look at that. If you're interested in that, remember, this is not financial advice. It's just for educational purpose and entertainment. But what you need to know is MetaMask will launch a new on-chain reward program allocating over 30 million in linear token for its first season, and the program includes referral bonus, MUSD incentives, exclusive partner reward with special benefit for long-time users. Also, MetaMask rewards initiative aims to boost activity on consensus linear network and integrate its MUSD. So that is good and great news from MetaMask. But let's take a look at another news, and this is TD Cowen warns US shutdown freezes SEC and stalls crypto progress. Yes, we all know that. We all know SEC, they have a lot of work regarding ETF approval and all other regulations in cryptocurrency to be done. But with the US government shutdown that has been going on for how many days now, it's really going to affect crypto in some way, and even the United States economy. And like what we read yesterday, it might even pass 15th of October, but finger crossed, we pray it doesn't get to that. And you can see that other agencies such as Federal Reserve and FDIC will handle crypto matter while SEC remain inactive. The US government shutdown is hindering progress in the crypto ecosystem as government agencies such as the SEC, that is the Security and Exchange Commissions, have reportedly halted their operations, according to note from investment banking TD Cowen dated Monday, October 6th. So you can see it's real news that I'm bringing to you on this great platform. So that is that regarding the news segment and the chart analysis on this great show. Let's now check what the economic calendar is talking about before we take a look at the charts once more. And now if you look at the economic calendar today, we don't have really much thing to talk about. It's all yellow, guys. It's all yellow. This is what happened when the government is being shut down in the United States. The biggest economy in the world is being shut down. The government is being shut down, sorry, not the economy. But you can see we do not have anything to take a look at the economic calendar. But let's take a look at the market cap and see if a lot of things have changed from yesterday and today, and you may want to agree with me that has happened, because if you look at the screen, you see that we now have 4.3 trillion US dollars market cap and close to 200 billion trading volume in the last 24 hours. Esther has been trending for days and is still among them. Doodles is there, Plasma is there, and we can see top gainers is now Doodles in the last 24 hours. Chain Opera AI is still there and soon also is still on the top gainers. All right, let's take a look at the top 10 cryptocurrency regarding the market cap on the cryptocurrency market rank list. Of course, we all know number one will always be Bitcoin with market cap of 2.4 trillion US dollars. Number two, ETH. Number three, Theta. Number four, XRP. Number five, BNB. Number six, Solana. Number seven, USDC. Number eight, Lido Stake. Number 9 is Dogecoin, and Tron still remain number 9. So nothing really changes like that. I think all of them are still maintaining their position, and the likes of Cardano, Chainlink, and the rest are below top 10. And if you're interested in knowing where your project or whatever token you're holding on to stands on the cryptocurrency market cap ranking, you might want to check it out on CoinGecko.com. All right, that's that regarding the event of the day and the cryptocurrency market cap. Let's now dive into the chart analysis fully and recap what it looks like. We all know Bitcoin is still a buy. Like I told you, Bitcoin is a buy, but if it should break below 123k, we might want to close our positions and wait for what? For another entry. You can see we've top out new high, and possibly we might see a pullback a little bit to make some money. All right, that's that on that. Let's now check out ETH. ETH is still a buy as well, and stop loss is around 4,484. Let's take a look at Chainlink. Chainlink also, it's a buy, but you need to move your stop loss. Chainlink is not a buy, but he activated a buy earlier today, which is good, but you need to put your stop loss down here so you can get into Chainlink if you want to, or you wait for it to cross 23 again. So let's take a look at AAVE. AAVE2 is the same thing, but AAV has not been able to break above it, so I'm going to leave AAV as a sell because it broke above the kicker, but we've not broken above that candle that broke the kicker, so we need to wait for 300 or 302 before we get in. Solana is looking great. Solana is still a buy. BNB is still a buy, but we need to adjust our stop loss right now to this, but this candle is not done yet. It's the daily candle, so we might want to wait. Let's just leave our stop loss at 1,130 thereabout until today's candle finish green. Then we're going to shift our stop loss to 1,200. Let's take a look at LTC. LTC is still a buy, and you can see it's moving down well, so LTC is still a buy. Let's take a look at SUI. SUI, it's still a buy, stop loss to remain at the same spots. Let's take a look at Avalanche. Avalanche also give us a buy right there and move up, create a structure, and we have a kicker. So now, since we have a kicker for Avalanche, let's change this to red. We're going to change that to red and wait for Avalanche to break above this structure or this one. So Avalanche is a sell right now. You might want to stay away from that. Let's take a look at ADA. ADA is still a buy. Yes, it's still a buy. Stop loss is now at the same spot right there, which is 0.77. XRP is still a buy. Stop loss is even down there. Let's take a look at Toncoin quickly. Toncoin, I told you, it needs to break 2.85. Yeah, it's broken in. So Toncoin is a buy, but we must be careful. It must not break this 2.7. So I think Toncoin has now activated the buy, but it must not break our kicker right there. If it should break the kicker, then we might be looking at staying away from it as a little bit. Okay, did it break above? Not really above. So I think our Toncoin, we might just leave our stop loss right here, 2.6. Yeah, because that candle is not really clear. Okay, let me zoom in so we can see. Yeah, it's not even above it, so that is not going to work. We might just want to leave it. It's just going to rally around there and continue. So let's take a look at A-Star Dex, you know, a token backed by CZ. You can see it gives us a buy here. We're into the market, pull back. So A-Star is still a buy. A-Star is still a buy. Stop loss to remain at 1.5. Let us take a look at Pump Fund. Pump Fund has now invalidated the rally we saw earlier this week. You can see we have a structure, then we have this kicker. No, it's not a kicker, excuse me. So it's still a buy. Thank God I take a look at it very well. So Pump Fund is still a buy. Stop loss at 0.005. Let's take a look at Ondo 2 is still a buy. Stop loss at 0.85. So most of them are still a buy, but just be careful with the stop loss and make sure you set your stop order in case the market drops, so you don't lose all your profit. And by tomorrow, if we see massive movement, we're going to adjust the stop loss again, and that's why you need to always watch the show every day of the week. 10 a.m. SAST time, 8 a.m. GMT. You need to be part of the greatness that is happening on this show. All right, let's move on to the show. Let's take a look at what the meme coins are talking about. It's still a buy regarding Dogecoin. Stop loss is right there. Let's take a look at Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu created what? Yeah, Shiba Inu created a kicker, but now we have a buyback. So Shiba Inu is still a buy with our stop loss right here. Yes, right there, 0.12. Let's take a look at Pepe. Pepe is still a buy, guys. Pepe is still a buy with our stop loss. This is going to be a structure, so it has to stay there. Pepe is still a buy with our stop loss at 0.0000089. Let's take a look at Popcat. Yeah, I'm correct. Popcat is let's see. I'm not gonna lie, if you look at Popcat, we have a structure, then we have a kicker that invalidated the movement. And if you look at it right here, you see that this was invalidated. So let's put it at red. Although we not broke above it, but we've not really gone above it comfortably. So I'm gonna wait before I get into Popcat. Let's take a look at Trump coin. Trump coin gave us a kicker, now buy activated. Again, excuse me. Millennial coin still about, I told you yesterday, but don't forget to set your stop loss. Let me put it there so people can see breakout, so we can just put it right there. So most of the meme coins are still looking good, and even altcoins and Bitcoin, but now they've given us signal of where we could step away from the market a little bit, and you need to stick to that. Remember, this is not financial advice. It's just for educational purpose and entertainment. Make sure you do your own research. If you're interested in trading derivatives, futures, getting signals, and free education, you might want to join my Telegram channel, and it's free of charge. The links are down in the description. So that's that regarding the charts analysis. Also, you can see what your tokens are looking like. If you have any token, any project you want me to take a look at, you might want to drop the name of that token, then I'll add it to the token I'm analyzing, so you guys can get to know what. Or you can comment live and ask questions live, because this is a live program, and this is the Bitcoin and Breakfast Show, where we trade it and we do not gamble it. All right, we can't end the show, of course, without checking what the sentiment looks like. Yesterday was greed, but now it's still greed. We're still sitting at greed. Yesterday was 71 greed, now 70 greed, and last week was neutral. Last month was fear. So that is really looking good. That means we're not in extreme greed yet, and probably will push to that, or we'll start moving back to neutral and fall into fear. So that is what the market sentiment is all about. All right, thanks for joining me on this great show, the Bitcoin and Breakfast Show, where we're trading and we do not gamble it this morning. I really appreciate you guys for watching, and I would like your contribution. Comment, like, and share, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe, like the program, like the show if you really like what we're doing, so we can reach larger audience. And also you can join our community, Instagram trading community, and I'm going to start a trading challenge very soon, which is trading $100 to $1 million live on Pump Fund. And if you want to be part of that, you might want to check my TikTok out and see the video we made for that. And also you can check out the X account to know how the launching is going. All right, thanks for joining me on this beautiful show. I'm Ahmed Oladimeji Kazeem, aka KC the Great, and this is the Crypto Bean 101 channel, the home of value and good information, and also this is where we trade and we do not gamble. All right, until I catch you tomorrow, please trade well, stay out of trouble, and always aim for profit.